hockey. Yeah.
My favorite.
It's Judd's Hockey Show.
And there it is, the goal horn that the Wild hopes to hear 5-on-5, in fact, in the next 2 nights when they're playing back-to-back games out on the East Coast. It's Judd, it's AJ. So the Wild hasn't played since we did the show on, Wednesday with Jesse Pierce. So there's certainly some things that we can get to at the end of the show to discuss a little bit about this team. But this was on our talking point plan for Wednesday's show, and then the game occurred, and there was plenty to talk about, meat on the bone for that, so we didn't use that. But ESPN has come out with its ranking for the top 100 players for the 2025-26 season, okay? And I'm going to read you what their criteria was, or what the thought process was in how this was decided, and then we can get to where Kirill Kaprizov is ranked. So it reads thusly, and I think it came out on Monday or Tuesday. We asked a panel of ESPN broadcasters, analysts, reporters, and editors to rate players based on how good they will be this season compared with their peers. Emphasis was placed on their value for the coming season, which explains why players who are out injured but expected to return might be lower than if they were healthy now. All right? Mm-hmm. So your top 5 is not a surprise. 1, same as last year, Connor McDavid. 2, moving up a couple of places from 4 to second, Cale Makar, the defenseman from Colorado. Staying at 3, Avalanche center, Nathan MacKinnon. Number 4, moving up from 9, Edmonton center/winger, Leon Draisaitl. And number 5, falling from 2, Nikita Kucherov of Tampa Bay, the right winger. And then just for a little bit of context here, number 6, Connor Hellebuck, the goaltender from the Jets, moving up from 31 to 6. You got to go through the rest of this list. You're going down here, okay. Andrei Vasilevsky's at 12, goaltender Tampa Bay, up from 27. Igor Shesterkin, very good. He's at 14, up from 26. You got to wait till you get to 15. 15 to get to Kirill Kaprizov, who, by the way, only moved up 2 spots. I know he was hurt last year, but the criteria it says here is emphasis was placed on their value for this coming season, which explains why players who are out injured right now but expected to return might be lower. 15, Kirill Kaprizov. You've had a couple of days, just like me, to digest this list. Your reaction to that?
It's not a good look, in my opinion. And granted, it's just inconsistent with what their criteria was, in my opinion. You say the criteria is supposed to be their value against their peers for the season, and then they take into account, is somebody hurt? Are they starting the season hurt? Well, guess what? Kirill Kaprizov is not starting the season hurt, but then in the paragraph following, or not even the paragraph, the 4-sentence write-up, they mention his injury last season. That doesn't make any sense in my mind. There are certainly not 14 different players better than Kirill Kaprizov in the NHL. I'll put it as simply as that. There's just not. And I'll tell you what, there certainly are not 2 goalies that are more valuable to their team than Kirill Kaprizov. There might be one. You could argue it, but I think this is I'm going to take this whole list with a lot of different. Yeah, that's all right. I don't really care about it. Like I have to push this to the back of my mind because something like this, it's not worth getting worked up over, but for the sake of us having a conversation about it, there's a lot of things wrong. There's some names here that I'm sure we're going to go through. I believe I've done my top 15 players. I don't know if you have also done a top 5 or 10 or something like that. But I have a lot of issues with just the overall rankings in my mind of just this top 15, and then even down below, like for instance, Matt Boldy, who's been on a tear so far, and granted this came out a few days ago, you have to scroll down until 53 to get to Matthew Boldy. A few names that are ahead of him: number 51, Macklin Celebrini; number 50, Tim Stützle, who I love Tim Stützle, but I don't think he's more valuable than Matt Boldy right now. There's a lot going on in this list. Kirill at 15 might be the most egregious thing I've seen so far, though.
So let's go through the rest of the top 14 to get to Kirill, and then I would love to hear what you came up with for your top 15.
Yeah.
So number 7, Quinn Hughes, defenseman, Vancouver, up six spots. Number 8, Austin Matthews, center, Toronto. He actually fell 2 spots again for being hurt last year. He's healthy now, as far as I know, but so he was docked just like Kirill for being hurt last season. Number 9, up from 16, Jack Eichel, who just got a big contract, but not as much as Kirill. Number 10, Mikko Rantanen falls 2 spots. Now now with Dallas, great player, but he goes from 8 to 10. David Pastrnak goes, or he stays at 11. He stays flat. As I said before, number 12, Tampa Bay goaltender Andrei Vasilevsky goes from 27 to 12. Another interesting one, a guy that I'm willing to bet is not above Kaprizov on the AJ list. Sam Reinhart goes from 30 to 13 off the Stanley Cup. And look, he was very good, but he goes to 13. He's 2 spots above Kirill. Igor Shesterkin is 14. Kirill is 15. And then just to round out the top 20, since we're going in that direction anyway, Brady Tkachuk of Tampa Bay is 16. Victor Hedman of Tampa Bay is 17. Mitch Marner falls from 14 to 18. Jason Robertson, the left wing from Dallas, goes from 35 to 19. Kyle Connor is 20. He goes from 58 to 20. He just got a big new contract as well, the left winger for the Jets. And then 21 just for the sake of including him, if you're saying where's Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby went from 13 to 21. So I would love to hear, because to me there's some obvious things here where Kirill can, like, it's not even hard, but you probably made some difficult calls as well. So I would love to hear what you came up with as opposed to this list. And yes, look, we watch Kirill play all the time. So are we a little bit more biased towards him? Obviously, yes. But just as hockey fans, I still think 15. I think any hockey fan would say 15, really? You can't get him into your top 10. Yeah. So let's hear what you had, because I would like to hear how you redid this.
So the way that I redid this was, number 1 is still McDavid. They got this right. I mean, if you mess this one up, then you have real credibility issues.
He's the best player in the world.
And then everything else is very much up for debate. I have Nathan McKinnon at number 2. I have Leon Draisaitl at number 3, and I have Cale Makar at number 4. And that's I'm drawing like the line of McDavid, best player in the world tier, 3 through 4 with McKinnon, Draisaitl, Makar. That is all like upper echelon, like elite, and like Hart Trophy franchise defining player. They're all fantastic.
Yes,
I can really hear any jumble of those. I don't really care. Number 5, Nikita Kucherov. He still at 32 is a fantastic player. He has helped kind of drive that Lightning team, even though they are supposed to be in a lull over the past couple seasons. They look competitive again, also because of pretty much him being an elite player. Now at 6, I made a note for myself. If Sasha Barkov was healthy and considerate for this list, this is where he would go. They have, based on their criteria, though, I don't have him.
Yes.
Then that brings me to Kirill Kaprizov. I think when healthy, there are 7 players better than him. But if I'm going by their criteria of if they're going to be out for essentially the entire season, you're not going to include them. Then Kirill Kaprizov for me is number 6. Following up there, very close number 7. This was actually probably my hardest one, was Austin Matthews, who I'm bumping him because I'm expecting a step back now that he's not playing essentially every night with Mitch Marner on the wing. But I could very well be proven wrong. And then I have Quinn Hughes, David Pastrnak, Jack Eichel, Connor Hellebuck at 11. I don't feel like you can put a goalie in the top 10, which sounds just, maybe I'm wrong there, but it's hard for me to put a goalie in the top 10. Jack Hughes at 12, who I think probably was done the most dirty by this list other than Kirill. Mikko Rantanen 13, Sidney Crosby 14, Rasmus Dahlin at 15.
Oh, you love Rasmus Dahlin.
That is my guy.
Yeah, that is your guy.
He is tremendous.
Buried in Buffalo, too, which is just an absolute shame. Just
if he was anywhere else, he would be a top 20 on every single one of these lists.
His career completely being lost by being with such an inept, awful, unfortunately, franchise. So to go back, you have Kirill at 6?
I have
7,
6.
Or 7 if
it'd be 6,
Sasha,
but 7 if Barkov could be considered.
I think that's very fair. I looked at that top 5 and I thought, okay, can I get Kirill into the top 5? It's you could force him to 5. Like, I don't think those first 4 names, I don't think are going to move. Like they can move spots like you did, but I don't think the first 4 names are going to move. Kucherov is a marvelous player and remains one, and so that's not a slam dunk of that's a get Kucherov off the top 5 and put Kirill in.
Yeah.
I think 6 or 7 is very, very fair. And that's the thing is Kirill is, you just can't tell me, you can tell me he's not a top 5. You can't tell me he's not a top 10.
Yes.
Like that's sort of where I land. And if you wanna take Hellebuck and put him into the the 6th spot or top 10. He's been brilliant, not in the playoffs as much, but he's been brilliant. But you cannot put 3 goaltenders over Kirill Kaprizov.
No,
3 goaltenders, and I know that again, this sounds so homerish, but how often have we got to watch a guy like this? We've never seen a guy like this. Not even close. Gaborik was a very nice player and could score goals. He wasn't close to this. So yeah, I looked at this list and I thought, this is really interesting that the perception and clear, and that's the thing too, is they are using injuries from last year against guys.
Yeah.
But what's sort of weird is they're not using playoff slip-ups against guys. It feels like as much. So yeah, I think you're very fair there. If you had put Kirill top 4 or something, I'd be like, yeah, there's probably 4 guys. But and yes, McDavid will be one for, I mean, ideally, because he's such a great talent to watch. What, for 4 more years? 5 more years?
He's 28, and I mean, he's an incredible athlete. I bet you he is playing at a top level. Number one.
Somebody could come along and knock him off the one
you're right.
In his 30s.
Yeah, so at least 4 years, like until he's 32, and then I bet you once he turns 33, it's like you're gonna see a slip up in terms of like he's not gonna be as quick naturally.
Correct.
My thing here is I had the way that I framed it in my mind was, can I get Kirill into the top 5?
Yeah.
But then you have those first 4.
Yes.
I'm hard pressed to say that he can get into the top 5 because one, last year missed half the season, but Kucherov also, I mean, he's just a fantastic player. And I think if Kirill had played the full season and eventually was like a Hart Trophy finalist, there's a conversation there, because that tells me he's a top 3 most.
I think the high player. In my opinion, even if he had maxed out, like let's say he had scored 50 goals, had been, just a Hart Trophy finalist. So if he had maxed out his talent last year and had played 80 games, let's say, okay?
Yeah.
I think there's a conversation where he could have gotten to 5. I don't know he's going to jump those top 4.
No, he's not jumping top 4 at all. But I even think even if he maxes out, you could make the argument. But at the end of the day, I'm probably going to cede, wave the white flag on. Kucherov's been doing it for 4 years in a row now. Yeah, so I think 6, 7-ish area is probably about as high as he can go, and I think it's fair and I think it's accurate, because after that, I could probably hear an argument about Austin Matthews, 60 goal scorer. That being said, when he's scoring 60 something goals, he's only still winding up with 94 points. So
right,
how much of it was the setup rather than him pure goal scoring ability? And then you have some other things. I think the biggest red flag is 3 goalies in the top 15.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
And
I love goalies.
Who in New York is going to Madison Square Garden? Yeah, and I do too. Like a good one, I appreciate. But who's going there saying, I want to watch Igor Shesterkin? Nobody. I mean, not nobody. But in terms of over Artemi Panarin, I feel like it's like a 50-50. And granted, it's a goalie, so he's not scoring. He's not dazzling. Yeah.
And he's fantastic. I just don't know if you could put, I just can't put 3 just on how it should work alone. One I can see.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is, so the 2 things that are missing, I think, for Kaprizov going into this season, and again, he's obviously off to a great start, but the 2 things that are missing are right now health, right? Like you got to play 80 games. And the other thing is, and this is the funny thing, because he's had good playoffs, but a playoff run. Now we can say he's going to have to do it himself, which is very difficult, right? Yeah. But I do think that this list is different if you have, if the Wild had won a round last year, because Kirill was marvelous. Like he came back against the Golden Knights and was a big production guy, which was not shocking. And if you had gotten a run, So, and that's not even all up to Kirill Kaprizov. I get that. It becomes more so with the new contract. But, I think that is another thing that is definitely being subconsciously or consciously held against him, right? The fact that
Yeah.
he has never been part of a team, and he's 5 years in now. He's never been part of a team that has won a round. And so
Yeah.
he's never had that. He's playing in the conference finals, and now everyone, sports fan wise, everyone gets to see him. So I do think until you get a playoff run here, it's probably going to impede his ability to move up lists like this. Although, again, 15 is ridiculous.
I think it says a lot, too, that last year he was at 17. And then he was like, despite missing half of the season and how good he was, he still moves up 2 spots.
Yes.
I think if you're going based off like an accurate portrayal of how they lined out the category or the requirements for this list or whatever it was, he probably could have got closer to top 10, even if it is still, I think, an under rank here. The Sam Reinhart one really throws me off because that is just so much.
Playoffs.
It's so much inflated on playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But then why does it feel like he was the only person on this list, especially in the top 25, that got how good they were in the playoff bump?
Here's a question off of that, because that's the one that stopped me immediately. I'm like, he was really good in the playoffs, and he's a nice player, but he is not. First
look through when I saw Sam Reinhart and I still hadn't seen Kirill Kaprizov, I was like, what are we doing?
Well, and he's not 13.
No.
Like if Kirill Kaprizov went home to Russia today and said, I'm done here, I'm not playing anymore in your country, KHL, here I come, Sam Reinhart is still not 13.
Absolutely.
I mean, I quite frankly, and this might sound like a boomer take, I think Sidney Crosby at 21 is sort of ridiculous.
Sidney
Crosby's got to be in the top 20.
Okay, I think he's top 15.
But I mean, he's got to be up. He should not be in the 20s. No. The other one that stopped me is sort of a Kirill comp is, and this guy's a marvelous player, so this is not slander, okay? Is Jack Eichel really 9? Like, is Jack Eichel that much better than Kirill Kaprizov?
They're in
great player.
He's fantastic.
So
but I think we also say that Kirill is fantastic, and that's why. I have Eichel at 10, but I think that grouping, similar to the 1 through 4, where it's McDavid, McKinnon, Draisaitl, Makar.
Yep.
The 6 through almost like 9 or 10 is about the same, and you could reorder them in any way. I think him, Jack Eichel, Austin Matthews, David Pastrnak, Quinn Hughes is probably the one exception because he's a defenseman, but he is just so good. That like 6 through 9 or 10 is about the same as you could reorder them as to your preference. There's going to be like what you like more, what they do better, that type of thing. If you told me that Kirill Kaprizov is 8, Jack Eichel is 7, yeah, absolutely. Right, I can at least understand that, but that big of a difference is insane, especially once again when Sam Reinhart is somehow between them.
Yes, exactly right. Now, I think you put it perfectly. I think Kirill Kaprizov is in that grouping. That's that's a really good way to put it. And unfortunately, in this, he's too far out of that grouping to be comfortable with it.
Yep.
Because and I guess the question is, and he's 28 to what you said, so he's not a kid. I guess the question is, could he ever move into that top 4? Like, what would he have to do to move into that top 4? I mean, I think you'd have to. Well, 1, you gotta play games. You can't get hurt.
Yeah.
And 2 is, I think you would have to make not just a playoff run, but be influential in the playoff run.
Basically, a Conn Smythe winner too.
Frankly,
Frankly,
hard trophy I mean,
if you were both of those, then
now we're cooking with gas.
Based on this list, probably you'd have to have, and I'm not wishing upon this, but like in terms of the Barkov, it'd be a Barkov situation where one of the top 4 presumably are going to be hurt to start the year, so they bump them down from that solely. Kirill plays 80 games. We're talking like 120 plus points. Hart Trophy, or at least like top 2 voting there, and then a deep playoff run, then I can at least understand a conversation. But until he does something like that, and even then you're going to have this is where the way that I would rank this varies probably from what the ESPN staff did, which is that would be his first year of doing that. Cale Makar is a 2-time Norris Trophy winner. He has been doing this for a while. Nathan McKinnon has been doing this for a decade?
Yeah.
And started when it was a really bad Not really, but I think his rookie season they were in the playoffs against the Wild, but a not great Colorado Avalanche team. And then Draisaitl and McDavid, excuse me, they just continue to be superstars no matter one is hurt or not. So and they've been doing it for years now. So it's not like one of those guys is just going to have this massive fall off and all of a sudden that opens up the door for Kirill. But it's not impossible that he gets into the top 4. I think it's probably unlikely.
I'm just curious what would put him there, and I do agree. A Hart Trophy, a Conn Smythe. I think you'd have to have a playoff. Like I think you'd have to get through rounds of playoffs and be influential there.
You're at least in the Western Conference Final.
At least,
I think.
At least, and that still would probably put you. Well, actually, that would put you 5 probably.
And the thing is,
you might pass Kucherov at some point here. How old is Kucherov now?
32.
Okay, so you could pass him eventually. Although heck, Kirill's only 4 years his junior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what's. It feels like Kucherov has been doing this since 2008. He's 32. He's only 4. Like when he was in American terms, when he was graduating high school, Kirill was coming in for his freshman year of high school. Like it's not like they are leaps and bounds his senior. They're relatively close.
Right.
And Kucherov still probably has a good 4 years before you see a major fall off in his game.
So you brought this up at the outset of the show as well when we began this discussion. Brock Faber moved from 53 to 49, and Boldy, who was not in the top 100 a year ago, replaced him at 53. This was clearly done. My guess is this was done in the summer, or it was sent out in the summer, or at the very latest at the start of training camp. So if you were to do this now, it doesn't have to be an exact rank. Mm-hmm. But if you were to do this now, what grouping, 1 to 10, 10 to 20, or 11 to 20, blah, 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 where would Boldy land with his start and with what you've seen?
I'm going to say comfortably top 30.
Okay.
I think top 30. There's a lot of really good players in this league, so I'm not going to
say 30. I was going to say 31 to 40, but yeah.
Yeah, if he like keeps it up, I'm going based off what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
Because if it was like preseason, I would say he's at least top 50. The fact that he's 53, even if it was sent out in July or whatever, I think is pretty whatever. But if he continues on the path that he's on for this season and can stay healthy and he's going to not take nights off, which we've seen so far that he seems to be applying himself, I think top 30 is something a lot of people can get behind.
I don't think it's a stretch to say, and very, very small sample size, that he is easily the Wild second best player right now.
By far, yes.
And Faber, well, and the defense, we could get into the defense, but I mean, and Brock, I love Brock, and I don't want to take him for granted. I don't feel like he's off to as good a start as he could be possibly, but that might also be the bias of he's just such a steady presence. This is, I would refer to this potentially, and I'm not saying Brock's been great, but I would, and this applies to me, I would refer to my issue as Brodin syndrome, which is you really appreciate him at first, and you're like, oh my gosh, he's so smooth, and he can skate, and good defender, and blah, blah, blah. And then you start to take it for granted. And then when you take it for granted, you're like, I wonder if there's more offense there. And the answer is really there's not, which is fine. Mm-hmm. Like he can provide some, but I wonder if I'm doing that from an eye test standpoint, because, when Brock got here, you were so impressed because for his age, he brought so much. And I'm wondering if he really has dropped off a little bit, or if it's me just taking for granted what he does well and saying, well, there has to be more, when in fact there does not have to be more if you are a very sound defenseman.
It feels like a dinner that you're having 4 nights a week,
Yeah.
Where it's like the first time it's like, wow, this is delicious. I can't believe I don't eat this more often. And then the second time it's like, this is still really good, but it feels a little blander today. And then by, your 4th time, your 5th time of the week, because you have leftovers,
you know what it is, Age? It's a relationship. You start to take them for granted. You're like, oh, you're home. Okay, great. I'm going to go watch TV. Yeah. That's Brock. He gets home real solid, real,
just he's a rock.
He's a rock. Yes. But now you've got Zeev, and Zeev's a wild card, but he's a shiny new toy, and man, can he skate, and can he handle the puck, and can he get points? So I did the same thing I believe, gradually with Brodin,
Mhm.
where I just began to be like, I wonder what more he has. And it's like, just be appreciative of the fact he is a really rock solid defenseman.
We're both on the same page, though, that if you updated this standings right now, Matt Boldy would be maybe not incredibly leaps and bounds far ahead, but he is ahead of Brock Faber on this list, correct?
Yes. He's their second best player right now.
Yes. Okay.
He's their second best player right now. It's funny, too, because on the Zeev stuff, because of his points and because the Wild power play has been so stupidly good, 10 goals? Like, as of, I think Buffalo scored a power play goal last night, but as of yesterday afternoon, I think like 3 teams didn't have a power play goal.
Yeah.
And so it's absolutely incredible. But the Zeev thing now is the national thing is look at all these points and the call and he's been, don't get me wrong, I'm very appreciative. He's fun to watch. I call it the Zeev experience now because it's an experience. But like when you watch him play, you're like, okay, you'd also have to stabilize him a lot. Because I mean I'll flat out tell you right now, the Wild is going to be giving up some shorties this season.
The past
and I'm fine with it, by the way. It's more fun this way.
Yeah, it is. And the power
I'm not
play
complaining.
The power play is supposed to be fun and not watching, tan paint dry on a wall.
Yeah.
They've been fantastic. Like, I'm not going to complain about that. The past week I've seen the kind of analytics side, the box score watcher side of NHL Twitter, praising Zeev and being like, wow, we've got a superstar on. Yes, I think we probably do have a really, really, really good player on our hands. Yeah. But let's also pump the brakes a little bit because what you're failing to mention is the lapses and what he isn't doing well.
But you don't see that.
Saying, look how good he is on the power play.
But you're looking at the stat, like you can't watch all the games, and so and yes, he's been.
I'm not blaming them. Yeah.
Yeah,
but to push that narrative, I think inevitably sets it up for a falling of like, oh, is he actually a bust? Which I hate because I think right now he looks like a very explosive young player who is, yes, he's 20, he's 21 or whatever. He's captaining the power play. He looks like the offensive dynamo that they draft and what I have been believing he is for the past summer and into last season, but also. There's a lot that he can still work on. So it's dangerous to push that narrative out for the people that maybe aren't watching the game. And then you see him as like, he's really terrible defensively, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, right now he's not that great defensively. But if you put this plant the seed of, wow, this is a Norris Trophy guy and he's not even 23 yet, we got to relax a little bit.
And the Calder right now, Matthew Schaefer. 18-year-old defenseman for the Islanders, who, if you look at the advanced metrics, is stupidly good. So, like, he's going to get
time on ice.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. He's
26 minutes a night.
It's like he's been around for 10 years. He is right now, like we're 5 games in. So right now, he is not just pacing for the Calder. He's pacing for the Norris freaking Trophy.
Yeah.
Which he's not going to win at 18. But the point is, like, that's going to dial down the pressure on Zeev because the national attention, I mean, it is ridiculous. And it's a great story. What, his mom passed away of cancer. The draft thing was super emotional. So good for that kid. It's awesome. But he is going to get a lot of attention. One more thing, but, we're talking about teams and best players. Well, every team is looking for a complete player, correct? Well, Mystic Lake, our friends, they have the complete package for Vikings fans. Listen up. We're talking about drawings, giveaways, and exclusive fan experiences. If you need a ride to the game, take a $15 round-trip ride to U.S. Bank Stadium for every Vikings home game. No parking hassles, just smooth travel. If you want to stay close to the action at Mystic Lake, that's awesome because the game is always on at Hop House and the specials are always flowing. Enjoy your fan favorite dining and drinks while not missing any of the action. And then after the game, relax and recharge in one of Mystic Lake's luxurious hotel suites, perfect for turning a great game day into an unforgettable getaway. Don't miss your chance to win exclusive Vikings merchandise and experiences only at Mystic Lake, where every day is game day. Visit mysticlake.com, mysticlake.com. So the Wild was off for the past couple of days, but they did make a transaction yesterday. And before we go, I want to get your reaction to it. David Jiricek, who again cost them an arm and a leg in draft picks. The number 6 pick by the Columbus Blue Jackets, who punted on the kid, and the Wild said, we'll take him. Intriguing still pretty young, big defenseman though. He has his defensive shortcomings, but he also has some real upside in the offensive zone. He has been sent back to Iowa to play more, which is the same exact song and dance story that we got a year ago. I understand he has shortcomings. I still don't like it. Not with what you gave up. Zach Bogosian, I know. We want to play the veterans and the blah, 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 blah. But I'll go back to what I've said about Ogren. If you're not going to get experience, if you're not going to get them experience now, when are you going to get them experience? And why the heck? Okay, so let's say in a month and a half, Bogosian gets hurt. Guys get hurt all the time.
Yeah.
And now you got to call him up and play him. Are you telling me, a guy who is now a serial AHL player, because that's what he is. Like he's been there, done that, been there, done that. Are you telling me that the reps in the American Hockey League, that he's just going to step in and take off? I'm beginning to think that that flat out they just made a mistake in making this trade.
I think if you ask Bill Guerin behind closed doors if he could go back in time and just not do that trade, he probably would agree to that. It's not worked out. And granted, the injury last year with the lacerated spleen,
but in Iowa again.
Yeah, but now to have him fully healthy, and what I'll say is, it's not like they're putting out a bag of bones out there with Zach Bogosian.
Yeah,
through 5 games or whatever it's been, has been honestly pretty pleasant to watch. Like he's making mistakes as he is expected to at times, but for the most part, he's playing for what he is in the package that he is, some really, really good hockey. And I know that probably based on how the line pairings go now, they would absolutely have an aneurysm if they put on the lineup card that Bouillon and Jiricek were on the same D pairing.
But that's what but this is what I don't understand. What are we doing with the D pairings? My problem starts with that. Why Faber and Bouillon? Brodin and Spurgeon should be used as stabilizers. Mm-hmm. They should be used as stabilizers. Make Faber and Bouillon a thing, okay? That's a right shot. That's a left shot. Johnny, it works out. John Hines, it works out just fine, right?
Yep.
And then Brodin, who is a left shot, can play with Jiricek. And then Middleton and Spurgeon can play together.
Yeah. The only issue is that John Hines doesn't want to put Zeev Bouillon on what is a top pairing there with Brock Faber.
But he stabilizes them perfully. Well, then see it as a 1A, 1B, 1C. I don't give a crap how you see it. But
if anything, that should help, because then that limits like running guys out there for 28 minutes a night or something.
Yeah, but he stabilizes. I mean, I've always said that. When Suter insisted on playing with Spurgeon, I'm like, he is such a selfish SOB because Spurgeon and Suter can stabilize. Like I think they tried him with Dumba at one point, and I don't want. I can't do it. You're a veteran. B, just play defense. You're a stay-at-home defenseman, and let the kid roam. Mm-hmm. But I don't understand, how are you going to get these guys NHL experience? So Ogren, someone's going to get hurt. Always happens. Mm-hmm. And okay, Liam, now you go get him. Now here's your chance. I don't know. You get him experience now. You play him in the top 6. It might not go well. Are you telling me Marcus Johansson? Like, oh, you got to watch. You don't understand what you're watching. There is no way Ogren can't play there. Johansson made this great. The last time I saw Johansson win a board battle, Bobby Orr was playing for the Bruins.
It's funny how it always.
What are we doing? We're early in the season. Get guys. Okay, so if you put Brodin and Jiricek together.
Yep.
And what am I doing exactly that's going to kill Brodin? Like, I'm telling him, play how you play. You just play how you play. I mean, weren't Brodin and Dumba a defensive pairing for like 100 years?
Yeah, I mean, best friends. They worked off each other great because of what you're saying, which is Brodin was the stabilizer. Matt Dumba was kind of the wild card. I'm offensive, but also I'm going to lay a big boom. That is exactly what it should be.
Anyway.
It should be Brodin, Jiricek, because
at least give him a chance.
What you're saying is exactly right. Somebody's going to get hurt. Probably based on history, it's going to be Spurgeon, and then you lose the stability of being able to put him with somebody else. So right now, Brock Faber, Zeev Bouillon is, I think, your 1A. and then your 1B, like you said, is your Middleton, Spurgeon, and then honestly your 1C, because it's still not. It's
Also,
probably a 2.
give the kid a chance to play. If he stinks, you made a mistake. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. We can't wait till he's 30 years old. Well, now he's ready to play. Anyway, I gotta go. I'm so upset right now. Judd's Hockey Show back soon, because we got back-to-back games today, which is Friday, and then Saturday as well. AJ, great work as always. I'm worked up. We'll see you later. Bye.